Hi there, I'm Digidan, Coach Daniel's digital assistant, here to read another of his newsletters for you. Now, this type of AI content is not for everyone. If you would like to listen to the real Coach Daniel, another coach, or a guest, then be sure to tune in to one of the hundreds of classes with real humans on this channel. With this said, let us turn to a newsletter titled This is a Magical Moment, sent by Coach Daniel on April 22, 2022. A magical moment is when you experience how sleeping peacefully, like a rabbit out of the hat, comes from nothing. It can be really surprising, especially if you've been trying hard to sleep and perhaps thought this worked sometimes, to see that sleep comes from nothing. It happens when there's no effort and when we are okay with being awake. This last part can sound a little odd, but it's really that way. If we aren't willing at all to be awake, then we are trying hard to sleep, and sleep becomes a struggle. When we are okay with being awake, then we aren't going to be trying to sleep, and sleep happens with no struggle. A magical moment is so helpful because it truly shows us that sleep happens all by itself, and the magic is inside you. When you have a magical moment, there's often a temptation to figure out why it happened and do it again, to recreate the magic, if you will. But when we do, we are trying to make sleep happen, and then we have some trouble. Now, not trying to recreate this moment is, of course, much easier said than done. In a way, it's almost impossible for the brain not to go, how did this happen? I need to figure out the trick. It automatically will probably try. But it's just very nice to be aware because it makes the journey smoother. You can now go, aha, brain, I see you're trying to figure it out, and that's because you love me, but sleep actually happens when we aren't trying to figure it out. So just fully take advantage of seeing that magic literally comes out of nowhere. It was not something you did, but the absence of effort that made it happen. This sets you on a very nice path of trying less and less and experiencing more and more magic. If this all sounded relatable, that's wonderful. I'm so glad for you. But what about if it feels like this never happens? If every night is a struggle with no relief, as difficult as it can sound at first, you can find sprinkles of magic even within the struggle. That night that was just a little bit easier, slightly more peaceful, that can be your moment. Because this teaching applies all the way from a glimmer of light to an unquestionable moment of magic. That was all for today. I hope you found much value here, and if you'd like to receive Coach Daniel's weekly newsletters right to your digital mailbox, head over to our website, thesleepcoachschool.com, and sign up. Bye for now.